This one's Chewy. He's a crazy dog. Looks like a Muppet. He's a first generation lab poodle mix. So he's got crazy hair. Doesn't need to be trimmed. Sheds a little bit. Anyone else have a lab that just wants to eat so badly? This is Luna. Every morning. Okay. Okay. See? Little Miss Piggy. So this is on me. I have knit Michelle Wollens&Nosh's Advent in years past. I didn't knit it last year. I did the Freckled Whimsy like I talked about yesterday. But in the years past, she had the color repeats. Because she always has like the contrast color is like a mini stripe between each day's stripe, so you know when to stop, so you don't get spoiled, which is awesome. But in years past, she had that mini stripe was smaller and the regular stripes are smaller. So you got like, for 100 gram skein, you got 4 total repeats, meaning because she sends them in 2 already skeined up 50 gram balls. And so there was like 48 stripes in one ball, 48 stripes in another ball. So it was about, for me, I would use half the ball and knit with the contrast color for heels, toes, and cuffs and have a perfectly sized pair of socks, because I usually use about 70 grams for a pair of socks for me. So this year, and I didn't watch her video. She put out a video. So anybody else that is knitting this one, you might want to look at Wollens&Nosh's YouTube channel. Maybe if I can think about it, I'll link it below this one. But she had a tips and tricks, and she's talking about it. And she said that this year they did it differently, where they're just breaking it at 100 grams. They're not doing the super math to make sure that everybody gets that many stripes. For the fingering weight, you basically get a repeat and a half per 50 gram skein. So my socks are gonna get too long. She said, I think she was just saying, I was just watching the YouTube, by the way. I think she was just saying that it's like about, if you knit just like a tube of the stripes, it's about 14 inches, which is closer to the length of socks that I knit. I might knit 13 to 14 inches from heel, or from cuff to toe, if you lay it out and measure it. So what I'm doing, I just already took it off the needles. I'm ripping back and I'm going to re-knit my toes, starting with the striping colors. So you could see I already have my 2 stripes because I just finished my stripe for today. So at the end of the day, I'll show you what it looks like, because it will still just be these 2 stripes because this is day 2. But I'm going to start at the toe, and I'm going to save my contrast yarn that I already like broke off of this, because it should be enough to make my heels if I do my shadow wrap heel, because it's about the same as a toe. And so there's my, I always, when I join yarn, I put a little like bow knot in it just so it's kind of out of the way. So there's that. So I'm going to save this and knit it for my toe. I'm not even going to unwind it right now. I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'll save it for my heel. Sorry, not my toe. I'll save it for my heel. So right now I'm just ripping these out, and I'm going to cast on again to do my toes. And you know what, you guys, I am a designer. I rip out yarn all the time. I have no problems with this. Other people hate doing it. I understand, but this is like my process half the time when I'm designing, is I will knit for a while and I'm like, ooh, that's not playing the way I wanted it, or ooh, that's not, you know, the size I really wanted it to be, because I don't know about you guys, but gauge swatches have a tendency to lie. So sometimes even if I do a gauge swatch, it's not right. Not when you actually are knitting the fabric that you want in the size that you want, all that stuff. So yeah, I am just gonna start these again, and once I finished knitting the second stripe for today, I was like, this is working out different than the years past. I remember she was going to put a video out about it. I'm going to go find that and see if there's anything I need to learn. I learned. So yeah, I'm going to start with the striping, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to start with the black color of my stripes because I had a fair amount of black here. And I'm going to make sure that they're the same. And then I'm going to just start my cast on and knit toe up again, just starting with the stripes. And we'll see how we do. All right, that's my little tip if you guys are doing the Woolens and Nosh advent. If you already started, you might want to rip back yourself, or maybe just do really tall socks if you want all 24 stripes. If you don't care if you don't get all 24, then keep going, because I saw some people's like spoiler, and I didn't even count. I should have counted their spoilers where it was like a black and white so you couldn't see it, but they had a full sock with the contrast heels, toes, and cuffs, but they only had like 18 stripes total in it, so they were missing 6 of the stripes. And so I'm like, oh, that's why. Now I know why. So I want all 24. So I'm going to restart. Okay. So I didn't really talk about this one that much yesterday. This is my coffee advent that my husband and I are sharing. So it's every day you get a little sachet thing of an individual pour over is the option that I got because I thought it'd be the easiest. And then on the back it has what you had. So yesterday we had Brazil, this one, and then today it's going to be this one. We haven't roasted this one yet because we're still finishing up the regular coffee. So that's the advent that my husband and I are kind of sharing. My daughter's advent, I got her like a craft artsy one from Grabby. I saw this online. And so today she got, it's like a little mini book that's watercolor pages. So they're thicker, so it won't bleed through. She thought that was kind of cool. My husband finished day 2 for his puzzle. So what he usually does, he's had one of these puzzles last year too, which we shipped it off to somebody else. He'll do like, these ones are where it kind of does a section and then you can build it as you go. He usually does a section and then he does the next section and he kind of piles them up, and then on the last day he'll put the whole puzzle together and it comes in a box with them all labeled. And on the back actually it has like the numbers of what day it goes into, so you can easily rebox it up and send it to somebody else to have a puzzle. So we did that from last year's. We sent it off to my sister-in-law because she likes to do puzzles. And then my son's Spider-Man got some little webbing. There's actually more webbing over here that he didn't use yet, but this is the little webbing that got added to his Spider-Man. So that's all of today's advents. Advent day 2. Yeah. Like I said already, I am working on my sock. So that's my main advent is my sock. Back in my laundry room, I didn't get to knitting or washing my hand knit socks yesterday, but I know since a lot of you are knitters that are here, maybe you're curious how I actually wash our socks. So remember there was this pair that I made my husband. That's going to get washed today too. So I actually throw all my socks, because they're all generally super wash, in my washer all together. Like, so my daughter and myself always wear hand knit socks. My husband does most of the time, and my son will wear like a pair or 2 a week. So I generally have a lot of socks. You can see how many I'm throwing in here. So it's enough for a load every week. And what I usually do is my washer has a hand wash cycle. So I run it on the hand wash cycle, and I put wool wash. I make my own wool wash for washing socks. So I put wool wash in it and vinegar, because that's what I use for softener anyways, is vinegar with some scents in it. And so I put those in to my detergent area, and I let it run, and it does do a spin out, so they're not too wet at the end. And then I will usually, if depending on the socks, some of my socks If they're not superwash, they will still go in the washer, but I won't put them up in the dryer. I'll put most of these up in the dryer because we have dogs, like you saw yesterday, lots of dogs, and people walk around with sock feet a lot. I wear slippers most of the time with my socks on, so my socks don't get quite as hairy, but like my daughter, her socks get really hairy with all the dog hair. So I'll throw them in the dryer on like the, this one, our old dryer did have just a fluff setting that you didn't have any heat. I put it on low and just run it for like 20 minutes and it takes out a lot of the hair. And they're not dry by the time they get out. And then I hang them all up on a drying rack that I have in my laundry room. So that's how I wash socks. So they're kind of hand washed. I wash them more gently than regular clothes, but I know some people just wash them regular, and that's fine too. If they're super washed, you can do that. They will last longer if you don't, and they will last longer if you don't dry them. So that's just how I do it. So I figured I'd chat with y'all for just a second while I'm knitting on my re-knitting the beginning of my Advent socks. So today is Monday, December 2nd, second day of Advent, second day of Vlogmas. And again, dogs. You're gonna hear dogs. So I am glad last night that I finished up recording and doing everything what I did, because I started to feel crummy before even dinner. So we ended up having takeout last night. Indian food for my husband and I, because we like Indian. And it was, my kids don't, they only like naan, so we picked up some burgers for them. So it was a takeout night. And then, but since it's a Monday, the kids are back at school. My husband works from home. I am home all day. My work is basically just my knitting designs, and then taking care of the house and the dogs, and I do teach knitting classes every once in a while. It's been a while since I've taught any. But yeah, so my husband and I are both at home. He's in the office working. We have a home office. And yeah, I do need to run to the store at some point today because I need to get, the other thing that happened last night is my nose started running like crazy because remember I'm sick. And I need lotion Kleenexes. Apparently, the last time one of the kids was sick, they used up the rest of them and we don't have any left. So I didn't realize that. So I need to go pick up some lotion Kleenexes and then just a couple other things that we probably need from the store. But yeah, so our normal like routine, if you saw some of the early videos, because I'm planning on adding everything chronologically from when I record it. So with the little video snippets. So I wake up bright and early, 6 o'clock in the morning, because the kids, my daughter has an early morning class at high school, so she has to be to school before 7. My son's bus comes by to pick him up from middle school a little bit after 7. So they're out of the house pretty early. So we get up early to get everybody moving and going. And then, yeah, my husband, since he works from home, a lot of times he'll hop in the office and start working even before 8. And then we'll probably go for a dog walk at some point. It's supposed to warm up today into the 40s, so we might get out later this afternoon, actually, or at least after the lunchtime hour. A lot of times we'll go in the morning, late morning in the wintertime, just because it is not as cold as earlier morning. Summer times we go early in the morning to beat the heat. But with 3 big dogs, by now you've seen all of them, Ash, Luna, and Chewy. It's easier to walk them with 2 people rather than just by myself. Before my husband worked from home, because he changed jobs a few years back, it was just me walking the dog, so it's kind of nice having a buddy. And it's nice for us. We get to get, I do see him during the day every once in a while. I'll come out and get coffee or snack on some food or, whatever, and chat for a second. But generally during the day, I don't see him too terribly much. But it's nice when we can go for a walk together, have our daily constitutional with the dogs. But yeah, So our typical, like I said, my life is not very exciting. Typically we just, you know, I knit a lot during the day. I do have a pattern that is just wrapping up its testing. I think I'm waiting for one tester to finish it. And then hopefully we'll release it later this week. I'll let you guys in on that one when it comes out, and that should be my last pattern release for the year. And then I do have another design that I am working on, but I won't be showing, I don't like to show designs generally before they come out, or not until right before they come out. So there's another design that I've been working on that I'm not planning on working on it too like strenuously before the next holiday break. But yeah, so I'll have that going. I'll probably, you know, end up running a test knit on that come January. Just because then it will be after the holiday season and people will be more willing to test knit. Usually I can't find testers in December, it's hard. So I generally don't try to run a test knit in December. But yeah, so that's my daily grind. Like I said, it's not all that terribly exciting. House cleaning and everything. Oh, and you've noticed that I do have some Christmas decorations around the house. We haven't gotten our Christmas tree. We get a real tree every year. We just buy it from a tree lot. And we're gonna probably be picking that up this coming weekend. Just so it's not, I don't like it. Every once in a while it will dry out before Christmas. Last year was really bad. Usually it doesn't dry out before Christmas, but last year our tree was just not as good. And I always do put hot water in right away to help warm up the sap and stuff for my first bout of water into the tree when it comes in the house. And we usually fresh cut it when we get home. So I don't know. It was weird last year, but yep. So this year so when I do these filmings by my desk, because this is our main living room, we don't have a TV or anything in here. It's just our like sitting room. This is where my desk is because I don't want to have a desk in my bedroom, and I don't like hanging out in the basement. That's the other place I could have a desk, and I didn't really want one down there. But back behind me, this big window is where we put our Christmas tree. So next week you'll see a Christmas tree there instead of just the window backlighting me. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta tell you right now. Well, like I said, since my husband works from home, we get to have some lunch together. We're having leftovers, the end of the turkey dinner leftovers, and then some turkey soup.
Yay.
Yay. So we do get to eat together every once in a while for lunch.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. All right. Today's festive socks I knit a few years ago. I think I got this as a gift from a sock swap that La Mercerie used to do, Winter Wishes sock swap or whatever. This is mustache yarn in the Father Christmas colorway. I think she might have renamed it, and it might not be, I think it's like going to be retired or something too. The contrast was a mini that my swap partner sent along with this skein, I think, if I remember. Hi, final little check-in for the day. It is almost 4 o'clock. My kids are getting home later today because they both are doing, my daughter helps run the middle school's drama club, and my son is in the drama club. And so my daughter can drive now. I don't know if you guys, my last podcast, I said that she got her driver's license, or I think, yeah, I did. So she can drive now. So she's driving them home from that. And then she's also bringing a friend because they got to work on some stuff together. Anyway, so it's all that's happening, and I'm still sick, and I'm starting to get more nasally even as we talk. I'm wrapping it up now. I wanted to just show you guys what I've been knitting on today. So I did finish up my 2 stripes of my Advent socks. This is the Woolen Zanosh Advent. And I just got past the toe, like I did my last round was not an increase round. So there's my 2 stripes. And then I did, for the Nana's visit, the Mystery Gnome, I did finish Clue 1. So if you haven't finished yours yet, look away. But I finished Clue 1. I mean, it came out yesterday. So that's kind of where you cast it on. My light is kind of leaving me, so I don't know how well you guys can see it. I don't know which way it will go eventually. And I don't know if this is going to be like a... You don't know with these. You have no idea what it could be. So it could be the part of the body. It could be a giant hat. I just don't know. It could be a hood. Who knows? But yeah, so that's the beginning. You should use floats, and it's pretty easy technique to do. And then last night, I knit all of that Clue 1 for the gnome today, because last night I didn't really start it because I was not in the mood to follow directions. Because I was feeling crappy. So I started a pair of socks for my son. This yarn that I'm using, I can't see the colors very well. I'm sorry, my light is leaving me. But this yarn here, I dyed myself many, many years ago, and it's just been sitting in the stash. And if you watch my regular podcast, you know that I do, at the beginning of this year, I had made myself a mystery monthly sock subscription out of my own stash. Excuse me. And that's the last one from that. So I've been knitting a pair of socks out of my... For sure out of my stash yarn. I knit more than one pair usually out of my stash yarn, but it's not like new yarn that I bought that year. It's stash yarn that came in the previous year. So at the end of Vlogmas, maybe I'll put together my next year's mystery stash, because that was kind of fun, and it got me to use some of my older yarns. Like I said, I hand dyed this one years and years and years ago, and it's just been sitting in stash. And so I was like, well, I'll put it in that. And it's kind of nice because it's a little festive-y. Maybe I'll show it tomorrow in the light where you can see it better. But yeah, that is it for today. Like I said, it's almost 4 o'clock. I'm gonna have to be, my daughter's friend that's coming over is staying for dinner too, so I'm gonna be making enough dinner for everybody. Just making tacos tonight, quick and easy, simple, with a cold. Wash my hands frequently. Yeah, so that's everything for today. Vlogmas Day 2, that's a wrap. I will see you guys again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed.